Hey, Single Over 30er, this is Shana and welcome to another Single Over 30 vlog. All right, so this week I got a question from someone I will call Miss T. And she says, hey Shana, what if I decide to go on a date with a guy and at some point I discover that he's dating a few people? Maybe he's even seeing someone, but he still goes on dates with lots of other ladies. I would feel like he's a player and I would never want to see him again. What are your thoughts on people dating multiple people at the same time? And at what point do people decide to become exclusive? It's hard for me to deal with the idea. Thanks, T. All right, so this is a really great question and one that I've heard a lot. So here's my answer. All right, you may have heard me talk about intentional dating, which means that you have a plan and you are dating with intention to see if you and another person are right for one another. With intentional dating, there are typically phases to relationships. So first, people become friends and then they date seriously to see if they're going to marry, then they get engaged, and then they get married. And of course, when people date, especially with online dating, a man or even a woman might be meeting several different people for dates during any given period of time. And of course, it wouldn't be reasonable to ask a man or a woman only to date you when they don't know you. That said, that's where being intentional comes in. If a man keeps asking a woman out on dates over a period of time, and that period of time is just whatever is comfortable for the woman, she can ask him what his intentions are. Does he have plans to pursue an exclusive relationship with her to see if they're going to consider a long-term relationship? If he says, we're just friends, or I'm dating lots of women, then she would know not to put all of her eggs in his relational basket. The idea with intentional dating is that you generally try to keep your emotions and your actions at the same stage of relationship. So to answer your question, a guy isn't necessarily a player if he's dating a lot when he's just getting to know you. However, if he continues to ask you out, it would be perfectly okay to ask him to define the relationship and tell you where he thinks it's going and what his intentions are. If he can't tell you, or if he says, like I said, we're friends or I'm dating lots of people, then you'd have to decide how much of your heart, time, emotions, and intentions you want to give him. It might mean that you remain as friends and see what happens, but it may mean that you stop seeing him if you perceive that he isn't ready or if he's just playing around. For example, when I was single, there was a guy I was interested in, and he'd ask me out and he'd call me a lot. We'd do things together, but we'd never moved to the next level of relationship where we were dating exclusively. When I asked him about his intentions, he said that he just couldn't commit to dating just me, and he asked me to wait around for a year while he got his life more in order. And I didn't want to do that for a whole bunch of reasons, but one is that I didn't feel emotionally safe. So I decided not to continue in that relationship, which ended up being a really good idea. Deciding when two people should become exclusive is really a personal preference and a decision that's made by both parties. So they talk about it and as they get to know one another. With intentional dating, it's important to communicate with the other person and define the relationship so both parties are on the same page to eliminate or keep confusion at bay, right? So you ask what to do if a guy is already seeing someone else. Of course, if that means he's exclusive with somebody, then dating him wouldn't be honoring to you or anyone else that's involved when he's committed to someone else. I hope that helps, and I hope it's helpful to everybody else besides Miss T as well. If you have a question for the Single Over 30 blog, send it to me at singleover30feedback@gmail.com. And remember that you rock. You really do. And I'll see you next week.